Hey, what's up everybody? I thought I'd bring you guys a little bit of a analysis type of video today. I was going to give you more of a quick reaction earlier this week when the news I'm about to talk about broke, but I was scooped! Can you believe it? Okay, but in all seriousness, big news of the week is that Matthew Centrowitz announced that he is joining the Bowerman Track Club to be coached by Jerry Schumacher. If you listen to my podcast for a while, you'll kind of be familiar with everything going on in the Nike Oregon Project and how a lot of runners are kind of distancing themselves from Alberto Salazar and from Nike Oregon Project in general, which at this point is essentially Galen Rupp and his training partners. So Centrowitz was on the East Coast training with his dad, training with his high school coach too, I believe, just kind of doing his own thing, having his own training group, but some Instagram posts were made with the Bowerman Track Club peeps up in their Colorado Springs training camp, and then it kind of forced their hand towards announcing it, but I don't think it was really too much of a secret. In fact, I had the opportunity to know before Let's Run posted it, but my sources didn't think it was as big of a deal as I thought it was, so they didn't tell me what they saw me. Anyway, I was scooped by Let's Run, is essentially where I'm getting at. I had the knowledge, or I could have had the knowledge. So, it's interesting because I'm flip-flopped. I don't want to do a quick reaction video because, you know, the news is out there, but I wanted to kind of sit back and think about what exactly this means. What it means for Bowerman Track Club, what it means for Matthew Centrowitz, and what we could possibly see heading into the next Olympic cycle. So, Centro is a Olympic gold medalist. That feather's in his cap. But the thing that he hasn't done is broke 3:30. He is a quintessential miler. He's ran 3:50 for the mile indoors and has run 3:30 even for the 1500 outdoor. And I think, you know, in 2016 he probably had the capabilities to go sub 3:30, but you're going to take that gold medal any day over a fast time. Now, why is this important? Because Jerry Schumacher also has never coached a 1500 meter to break that sub 3:30 barrier. So maybe this is Schumacher's ploy to insert himself higher on the pecking order of Nike coaches, which he's already at the pinnacle, but just to push Salazar down just that far, a bit more. It could be just another opportunity to give Jerry Schumacher a feather in his cap as well. Give him that extra accomplishment of coaching a sub 3:30 1500 guy. But it bears to be asked, what is Jerry's track record as far as coaching milers and middle distance runners? So with that, I think you can obviously look at the female side, the Bowerman babes, as they like to call themselves. You can kind of look to what Jerry can do with pure middle distance runners. Colleen Quigley, Courtney Frericks, Shelby Houlihan. Those are, Chris Schweizer, but she's probably going more 5K, 10K, I would think. But the steeplechasers and Shelby, those are definitely pure middle distance runners. Steeplechase is very much a middle distance event. It takes a lot of the same kind of workouts as 5K, 1500 do. So coaching a steeplechaser as far as aerobically, those kind of workouts outside of the actual steeple drills is going to be very similar to a 1500 or a 5K training, depending on the type of runner that you are. Now, Evan Yeager is probably more in that 5K mold, but in talking about the male steeplechasers, Evan Yeager is probably more in that 5K mold. But I would say Lopez Lamong is going to be more in that 5K 1500 mold. So then you kind of look at this, is it a... So then you kind of look at it as, is this something that Jerry and that Nike has orchestrated to put the groups together? Because Matthew Centrowitz, I think, makes that training group a lot more whole. So they have a lot of good 5K, 10K guys, some people that can move up to the marathon, but they don't have anybody with pure speed like Centro has. So I think Centro's big thing is he still has to break that 3:30 barrier, but bringing him in gives Evan Yeager somebody to train with for the upcoming Olympics. It gives some of their 5K guys someone to train with for the upcoming Olympics. And when you look at that, Evan Yeager's times have kind of stagnated as far as PRs go over the past few years. He can't He hasn't been able to get gold in steeple, but he's gotten silver a few times now. But his PRs are from 2014 still, so still from the last Olympic build-up. It makes you wonder if it's because of the training group. If he doesn't have anybody to push him in practice or to run workouts with in practice, that can definitely stagnate your training. So then that makes me think that this whole arrangement is going to be very beneficial for both Centrowitz, for Jaeger, for Lopez Long even as he moves up to the 10K, but for Jerry Schumacher's group as a whole. I think it really elevates the status of bringing in an Olympic gold medalist. Now, for what I don't like about this. I think that Matthew Centrowitz has a lot of the NOP stink attached to him. So, obviously, he's not going to be as controversial as Dathan Ritzenheim or Galen Rupp, who were actually named in the USADA report that was released documenting some of the things that's going on at Nike Oregon Project. He wasn't named, he wasn't necessarily part of that training group, so I think that gives him some culpability of kind of claiming not quite knowing what was going on there as far as the full details. But I do think he is either A, complicit in it, and that he's part of it, and he would have had to know that what was going on was going on. B, was receiving a lot of the same benefits that Galen Rupp received, that Dathan Ritzenheim tested out, that we know were kind of happening inside Nike Oregon Project. It makes him kind of have that air to him of being associated with Nike Oregon Project. He won gold as a Salazar runner. To me, he's very closely associated with Nike Oregon Project. So, does this move, like when Ritz went to Hansen, does it kind of disrupt some of that as far as the questions will go towards Bowerman Track Club? I kind of don't think so, because I think Centro, just his personality alone, I don't know, it seems like he gets along with a lot of those people. So I don't think that, with Ritz, he was kind of front and center in the whole operation. Galen Rupp's training partner, someone who's closely associated with Salazar, whereas Centro always had that 1 degree of separation from the rest of the group. So I think that benefits them. I think Centro's personality benefits the situation that not as many people associate him with the USADA report and with everything that's happened with the Nike Oregon Project. But it really makes you realize how far down Nike Oregon Project has fallen. Given just, let's take it from this point, the last Olympic cycle. 4 years have gone by. And now they're probably the 4th tier Nike training group. If they're definitely not going to be accepting new runners, I don't see that happening. They're essentially Galen Rupp and his training partners at this point. I would think that in the past that Salazar would have been able to block this move if Centro left Salazar under bad terms, like in the past when they were at their prime, then decided to go to Bowerman. I don't think that is allowed to happen within Nike by Alberto Salazar. So I think that Jerry has risen, whereas Salazar's kind of fallen as far as that hierarchy goes. It's really interesting. It makes you really wonder what's going on the inside, and it makes you want to be a fly on the wall in the end. So it's interesting. Obviously, it's a wait and see approach. We have to wait and see what happens. That's what it means. We have to wait and see what happens this summer in the build-up to 2020 Olympic trials. This summer, with the world champs at the end of the year, you would expect Centro to make a pulley at sub 330, or if not this summer, then next summer leading into the Olympics. However, his fitness has not been great. So I think, one, this ups Centro's fitness just by joining with Jerry's group, gives him the group to be centered around, and I think overall you'll see a positive, but there is an opportunity where this all falls apart. So just something we have to keep in the back of our heads is that this could be good for both sides, this could be disastrous for both sides. So I'm interested to watch this roller coaster happen. Okay, folks, there's going to be some more content from me coming up this week. The podcast is going to drop tomorrow night, as well as you should have another live stream Monday evening, and then another video probably on Wednesday next week. So I'm going to try to up this production game a little bit. I've got some ideas, I've got some things taped. So more steady content from me. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you like this video. If you like it, pass on to a friend if they're wondering what kind of analysis we can make from Centro's decision. If you like to hear me talk about sports, talk about running, come give the podcast a subscribe, the Running Through podcast on Stitcher and all of your audio devices. And I would love to have you. So work hard, be nice, happy running.